All right, today we are diving into a really dense, really cool philosophical parable. It's about two titans locked in this epic battle over the very meaning of power and what it really means to be free. So, let's set the scene. Picture this, a dead world, a gray wasteland that used to be a marketplace, but now it's just filled with the ruins of giant corporations, like tombstones. It's right here that our story kicks off. And this really gets to the heart of it all. This is the central question we're going to be wrestling with, told through the clash of two incredibly powerful figures. So let's meet our two titans. On one side, you've got Wotan. Think of him as the arrow of longing, a guy who is always chasing that infinite horizon. And then, standing against him, is Faustus, the consumer of ruins, someone who finds his power in the abyss, in everything that's been left behind and destroyed. Okay, so to really get this, let's start by digging into the worldview of Wotan, this self-proclaimed creator who just wants to sail into the infinite, forever.
Wotan's first move is, well, it's radical. He literally burns the shore behind him. He's cutting all ties to the past, getting rid of the sweet oblivion of human comfort and all the old rules. He hasn't just burned his bridges, he's torched the entire coastline.
Now you'd think this would be terrifying, right? But for him, this act, this point of no return, it's the source of his power. He feels a divine frenzy, this incredible, godlike energy, because there's no going back. And this is his triumphant cry, his shout to the stars. Excelsior. It's Latin for ever upward. It's his personal anthem of ambition, of never-ending ascent. For Wotan, this is it. This is the peak expression of his will to power. And yeah, that's a direct nod to Nietzsche. He believes true nobility isn't about reaching a destination. It's about embracing this eternal, lonely struggle of sailing forever into the exhausting repetition of existence, with no map, no compass, and no home to return to. But now, let's turn to Faustus, because he's been watching all this and he has a terrifyingly different take on what Wotan calls freedom. And this is how Faustus enters the conversation. He doesn't come with a big argument or a speech, he just asks this one simple, chilling question that flips the entire script. He looks at Wotan's big, beautiful ocean, and he sees a cage.
And this is the core of his whole critique, the God-sized cage. It's such a brilliant inversion. You see, Faustus is saying that infinite, open space Wotan loves so much, those are actually the bars of a prison. In this view, Wotan isn't some noble explorer. He's just a castaway, totally adrift and alone.
Faustus is basically saying Wotan has just swapped one prison for another. Sure, he escaped the suffocating weight of human delusion, but he's just ended up in the glorious isolation of a giant, empty void that could not care less if he lives or dies. So, okay, if Wotan's path of absolute freedom is nothing but a trap, then where does Faustus get his power? Well, it comes from something completely different, almost a total inversion of Wotan's ideal. Faustus calls himself a powerful slave, which sounds like a total contradiction, right? But his strength doesn't come from being free of all limits. It comes from being bound by a contract of negation, a pact with a concrete, tangible truth, even if it's a dark one. He's not chasing some ghost on the horizon. And this is his whole deal. He's not trying to create something new out of nothing like Wotan. No, Faustus is the consumer of ruins. His power comes from owning the wreckage, from mastering what has already been destroyed. This lays the conflict bare. Wotan's grand quest to chase the horizon, Faustus sees that as just a hollow, power-hungry pursuit. And that thing Wotan treasures most, his sovereignty, Faustus looks at it and just sees stagnation, a pointless, endless chase. Wow. I mean, this line says it all, doesn't it? Faustus sees Wotan's journey not as an ascent, not as an excelsior, but as an inevitable fall. Wotan is the falling star, beautiful and bright for a moment, but Faustus, he's the gravity, the abyss, that's just waiting to pull him down and snuff him out. So let's bring this all together with the final, absolutely damning image that Faustus paints of Wotan's entire philosophy. Just think about that for a second. This single metaphor just destroys Wotan's whole idea of freedom. That heroic act of liberation, burning the map, is actually just suicide, because you're too proud to notice your ship is already going down.
And here's the final twist, the ultimate gut punch. Faustus argues that Wotan has just become a slave to the very same nothingness he worships. The only real difference between them is that Faustus knows he's a slave to his contract, Wotan is just too proud to admit he's a slave to the void.
Which leaves us with this massive question. What is true power then? Is it the absolute freedom to chase an endless, unreachable horizon? Or is it the strength to own the abyss, the darkness that's right there beneath your feet? Maybe, just maybe, real power isn't about escaping all your limits, but about mastering the ones you choose.